Mr. Guiyong from the Chinese Wind Energy Association, who speaks on behalf of Mr. Xin Haiyan, who is the Secretary General of the Chinese Wind Energy Association and the Vice President of the World Wind Energy Association. Now, Mr. Yu, you are the expert at the Chinese Wind Energy Association for gathering the statistics for China. China had an impressive year in 2020, even more, I think, than many optimistic experts had expected. And now I look forward to hearing from you. At first, a warm welcome to Beijing. And now the floor is yours.
Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for your introduction. And I'm very happy to present here today and to join this webinar on behalf of Chinese Wind Energy Association. And I'm very happy to share with you some status and our targets for our wind market. So first, I would like to share with you what happened last year. As everybody knows, we have the best records in history for the last year. And in 2020, we have about 52 gigawatts has been installed, added, new added. But it makes the total installation reached to 288 gigawatts. Anyway, this figure is to be confirmed. I think we could have the final one by the end of this April. So, as everybody in history, and also we have the biggest one, the biggest capacity to connect it into the grid is about 72 gigawatts. So also in last year, we also achieved a very good records for the offshore wind. And for the offshore wind, we have about 4 gigawatts newly added. So that makes the cumulative installation is about 11 gigawatts for the offshore wind. That makes the whole share of wind installation capacity in all resources reach to about 13% in last year. And also we can see we still have very big percentage of fossil fuels. It's as high as about 73%. But anyway, we're just changing the whole structures. And also we can see the proportion of wind power electricity in the whole electricity demand is about 6% in last year. That's much the same with the global status, 6%. And it's average percentage, So for the faster developing country, faster developing market, we know it's still relatively low. It's slow, so we could accelerate. And also for last year, we also see the turbine technology development in terms of the LCOE and both in onshore and offshore wind. So we can see we have a very draft decrease for the cost. Onshore wind, and we get parity by this end of the year. Why we can do that? That's because we have a very prominent and very special background. That because the last year, China sets the goal for carbon neutrality by 2060. So Chinese president has announced a very ambitious climate target to achieve the carbon peak and carbon neutrality by 2030 and 2060, respectively. So China aims to have the carbon diagnosed emissions peak before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. And to achieve these targets, we have to add more renewable energies and clean energies, mainly for wind power and solar power. So last year, at the CWP last December, Chinese Wind Energy Association, together with other 400 wind power companies, signed a joint declaration call for annual wind power capacity added to 50 to 60 gigawatts to help China reach carbon neutrality by 2060. That means we should have at least annual installation about 50 gigawatts for the next 5-year period. That means from 2021 to 2025, and at least 60 gigawatts after 2025. And we have to reach at least 800 gigawatts by 2030 and 3,000 gigawatts by 2060. So that's the basis line for China to reach the carbon neutrality targets. First, we have to purify, we have to clean and clarify the electricity power system. And that's the basis for the whole society's carbon neutrality targets. So for the outlook of Chinese wind market capacity, we can see with this big background, we have to cite a very ambitious, the 14th 5-year plan and the next 40 years plan. And we can see it's about by 2050, we should reach at least 2,000 gigawatts for wind power only. And together with other thermal gas, nuclear, solar, and hydro. So during the post-subsidy era, we have big targets, and we still have very big challenges. We have to reduce the cost. We have to strengthen our supply chain. We have to accelerate digital transformations and improve international cooperation, because we have to balance the whole industry chain to get a balancing supply chain. But basically, a green power consumption market is very essential to the increase of wind power in China and to reach the targets of carbon neutrality. So that's what's happening in China and our status here and our perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was, I think, a very impressive presentation of what the status is in China. Indeed, when we hear about 50 gigawatt of annual capacity additions for the next years to come, then you have already reached it in the year 2020. If I just may ask you, now you have presented this is the proposal by the Chinese wind industry. Has that already been, those targets, has that already reached the political level? So has the government already taken that proposal, or what is the status? Is that still under discussion?
I think it's not officially accepted by the government for now, so far. But I think it's going to be released together with the 14th 5-year plan for the whole country, and it's much the same with our targets.
So what you are aware of is that those proposals will be included in the next 5 years plan?
Yes.
Well, congratulations for everything that you have achieved. Indeed, I remember that the first time we had our World Wind Conference in Beijing in 2004, China had an installed capacity of around 0.5 gigawatt. So that's really been a fantastic journey together with you, and see how the Chinese wind sector grew and became stronger and stronger, is now indeed leading the world.